Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fetchquest podcast, where we talk about video games and more. I'm your host Guy, joined by my fellow co-host Liam.
Hello.
Brewer.
Hello.
And Connor.
Hello.
What's up, boys? How's everyone been?
Pretty good lately, just been chilling.
Yeah, good for me too, but I've been suffering through the Elden Ring DLC bosses.
Oh, dude, no, I'm with you there, dude. They're so tough. I'm 30 hours into the DLC, and yet I've still only beaten, like, half of the new ones. God, they're rough. They're really rough.
What are you guys talking about? They're not that hard.
What?
What? What do you mean by that?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I know everyone's been talking about, like, Mesmer and stuff like that, but I beat him in, like, 4 tries, I think.
Wait, hold up. What build did you use?
I, used Radahn's armor, this, cool bleed sword I found, and Mimic Tear, and,
You fucking cheater! God damn it, no, you ain't playing the fucking game. You're a little cheater little boy who's using his Bleed and Frost build with Mimic Tear so that the boss can die in 10 seconds, not having to learn any of the moveset or anything, you fucking loser.
yeah. I mean, it's better than being a little bitch who decides to talk down to other people when they're just trying to play the game normally. You know, because it's my first playthrough and I'm just trying to play through it.
Normally, as he says, when he's going to play the game again with no summons and is going to take forever on the bosses because he doesn't learn the fucking moveset.
Yeah, I actually do learn the moveset. It's just that I'm fucking better than you. I mean, did you beat Melania in 3 tries? Did you?
Did you learn the moveset of your drunken father? Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, with getting all that out of the way, boys, I love you, Connor.
Drunken father. Dude, does he have to avoid the frame 3 attack of his father with the follow-up beer bottle?
Yeah,
getting that out of the way.
That kitchen knife had a lot of the kitchen knife had a lot of bleed buildup.
Oh yeah, I bet it did.
With getting that out of the way, we're going to be talking about gaming elitism. What is it, and why is it a problem in our current gaming scene right now? So, boys, I know we've definitely seen a big resurgence of, like, quote-unquote elitism and how in quotation marks, how you're supposed to play the game with the introduction of the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, and I want to talk to you guys about, like, your general thoughts on, like, elitism as we get into it. But first, I feel like we should really discuss, like, the definition of gaming elitism, if one of you want to lead off with that.
I'll start with what I define elitism as. So, at least for me, elitism is essentially just, as it sounds, just people who think that because they play the game a certain way that they are better than other people who play the game differently. As we just demonstrated, a great example of that is how some people in the Elden Ring community see, like,
Summons.
Yeah, summons, bleed builds, different stuff like that. Which, don't get me wrong, those are really good, but I feel like if you're at least doing a first playthrough, you should not be.
Yeah, well, summons, especially, that's the most divisive one. Like, I mean, bleed builds are busted, but the biggest thing anyone will, like, choke you out for is using summons. Because, like, they can absolutely, like, change up the entire way you go about fighting a boss. Because instead of having a boss focus you on the entire time, the boss can go and focus on, like, a different enemy you summoned. You can go run to heal real quick and then maybe even buff up or throw some long-range spells. Either way, it gives you a lot more options when fighting the boss and a lot more windows of opportunity to not only survive, but to also do damage.
Yeah,
which is what has a lot of people in a pickle.
And that's the thing, like, I think the main, like, you said it yourself, like, the main reason as to why people are really mad about it is because it changes how the boss gets approached. Like, because with the Mimic Tier and other summons, you essentially, the boss is going to be aggroed on you only half the time instead of all the time, meaning that you're going to have a lot more opportunities to do damage, as well as having a second source of damage from your summon. And they're not only Elden Ring do we see stuff like this, we see this in like RPGs such as Monster Hunter. There's a really funny story with me and Jay. We were playing Monster Hunter World one time, and we got connected with these British dudes through the Xbox Looking for Group Post system, and the British guys were trying to roast us about not running like optimal builds, and like we were missing like one or two skills that would have that in their eyes would have made like the runs that we were doing perfect, even though they were not that substantial. And it kind of pissed me off because like these guys were being like dickheads to me and Jay because we didn't have like the best builds in the game, even though we were getting through like monsters like very well.
Dude, Monster Hunter does have a elitism problem. Like, as much as I joke about longsword, like there are some people that will like be very serious about the weapon they use, and like if you don't use that one, use any other weapon, and it's slightly higher up in the tier list, they will try to drag you down to hell with them.
Yeah, and like I feel like a really big problem with that is that the game is PvE. Should you care?
Yeah.
It's a sense of support, because a lot of this comes from self-imposed challenges that people put on themselves because they feel in their own mind that that's the correct way to play a game, and then they get upset when people don't follow their way of playing a game. So it's a very little silly reason where, like, if you're doing a self-imposed challenge, the word is there, it's self-imposed, you're doing it to yourself. Other people don't have to do it. They can use everything they want to. They can use every available option, and it doesn't make them any less of a player because they're using a thing that is programmed into the game.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I agree. Like, I feel like it's an issue when you use things that are like extremely broken or like unbalanced. Like if there was like a cheat in the game that like lets you kill a boss in 2 hits in a video game, then yeah, I would say that that kind of is a problem. But like it doesn't like what's up?
Like a good example would be when the game first came out, there was a way to kill, for Elden Ring by the way, there's a way to kill the fire giant almost immediately by having him roll off the cliff, and you would instantly kill him. That's not an intended mechanic, so I would consider that as cheating because you were taking advantage of his AI in order to kill him in 1 hit and have an easy fight.
Yeah, and it's like my stance on it is that like obviously like what me and Connor did earlier, I was joking of course, but it's like I do feel like people should play the way they want to, but I don't feel like if you are gaining an ego or saying you're better than people because you used certain methods, like what Liam was saying with like the cheating of like the fire giant one shot, then what the fuck is wrong with you? You're fake and fraud.
Yeah, because I mean, while you can definitely say you beat it, I think there is always a difference between like how you beat it. That's why like level 1 Wretch Belts are so respected, because like yeah, both of you beat it, but they beat it under much harder circumstances. But again, that is their self-imposed challenge, so you do not need to feel bad yourself for using the tools you did use to beat the boss. But I think it could be good to still just recognize that like yeah, they did do a much harder method by like maybe not using the funny mimic tier along with the bleed build. So
Me and my mimic tier run deep.
Mimic tier was the real friend and family for you when no one else was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When I couldn't memorize my drunken father's patterns, I called on my friend the mimic tier, and then I beat him.
So real.
Mimic tier is basically just a twin brother.
He's the imaginary friend.
Yeah.
We've been talking about RPGs for a while now. I kind of want to like move the discussion a little bit to like elitism in like competitive games and PvP. So like, I know, a lot of people in competitive video games such as Overwatch, Apex Legends, and other like hero-based games people will in fact kick you or try to bully you if you are not running like a correct setup with a character or playing a certain character a certain way. Hell, this even happens in League of Legends a lot. Rainbow Six Siege is a big one for that as well, where if you're not playing a certain way or hell, this happened to me a lot of times in Rainbow Six Siege. I would take someone's character. In Rainbow Six Siege, only one person can play one character for that round. So if someone gets a character, picks a character before you, you cannot choose that character afterwards, which is a good mechanic. It supports like having a diverse lineup. But if you steal someone's character, then they can just outright team kill you because you stole that from them, which is just very toxic and not like a good way to play or like be a good teammate.
Yeah, I mean, I think for games like that where like you can use a character but like it's limited to like one person using it, I think you kind of just gotta get used to using some other builds, because like that's going to happen. So like, don't hate the other player for like using it when you yourself need to go learn some other playstyles, which could also be a fun way to learn more about the game as well, and to figure out like how to deal with those people using that playstyle on the other team.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
Yeah,
just
I
like
think
you first.
I was just gonna say, I think PvP games, especially compared to PvE games, do have their own problems with like elitism. But like player versus players games will always have the worst ones, because at the end of the day, you know, everyone does want to win, but for there to be winners, there has to be losers. So naturally, the losers are probably going to be salty, and then like if there is something out there, like let's say a specific gun or specific playstyle or character that's way overtuned, people are naturally just going to be taking that out on the others and say you need to get good at the game, even when you're the one getting killed.
The amount of times when that I would play Overwatch 2 with one of our friends, and like I would just hear him like groan whenever he saw like a certain hero on the other team. It cannot be understated.
Oh yeah.
Well, two mistakes there. One, the dude you were playing with should not have been playing Overwatch 2, and for two, you shouldn't have been playing Overwatch 2.
And here we have the a new form of elitism, which is Guy's form of elitism, which is elitism, but instead of being an elitist when it comes to certain playstyles in games, he's just an elitist when it comes to people playing games.
That is okay. That is actually a good distinction we should make. I would consider myself an elitist in terms of what games I play. So, like, let me give an example. I refuse to play games that are reviewed with middling scores or bad scores, because I feel like I don't want my time to be wasted. Like, if there's a chance that a game has, like, a 70 on Metacritic, then that actually has a good chance of me just thinking it's alright or I don't like it and won't enjoy it. So I try to play, like, the best games I can just so I can have the most enjoyment. So I would say I'm an elitist in that sense, but in terms of, like, playstyles, that is completely different. I feel like I'm very open to, like, different playstyles in PvE and PvP games.
I'd say elitism with like maybe the games too, since I mean we are a gaming podcast, so I think to some degree all of us in here have some elitism in us. I think it's a bit more alright in that sense, because like I will always dunk on like sports games and COD all the damn time, especially to people who play them who are like, no, Elden Ring is boring and it's too hard. Yeah, like I was like, man, maybe gatekeeping is good.
I have an idea of who you're talking about.
Maybe.
Yeah, a little inside joke between me and Brewer. Don't worry about it. But God, what was I about to say? Liam, what are some of your views about like the PvP and PvE like elitism like playstyle issues? Because like I feel like it's running rampant as the more competition there is in PvP games and the more popular PvE games we get. I feel like it's growing bigger and bigger.
Well, my whole thing is that there has been a big insurgence in tier lists and like basically what character is the best in a certain game, or what gun is the best, or what strategy is the best, that type of thing. And a lot of people tend to gravitate towards what's the best because they want the best chance of winning. And people will either become elitist about only using the best things. Like in Helldiver, when the game first came out, people would kick you out if you didn't run a specific type of stratagem combination because it was the best on certain difficulties, because they thought if you weren't using it, you were throwing or sabotaging everyone else. Or in a game like Overwatch, if you weren't using the current meta of characters, they talk trash about you or try and kick you or make you leave. It's basically just no matter what game, people are going to gravitate towards what's best, and when you go away from what's best and play what you want to play, a lot of people get mad at you because they think that winning equals fun, and that might just be what they think is fun, is winning. But you think of winning as, I enjoy this character, this playstyle more, so I want to play it as this. And it's kind of, it can get pretty polarizing because there's also elitists of using the worst types of things because you think that you're somehow better than other people because you're using the worst character, the worst weapon, and you think you're better because you're giving yourself a handicap and still
Average
winning.
low tier main.
Exactly, like someone playing like I don't know what the current like bad characters in like hero shooters are, but
Well, I mean,
I don't
maybe
play a lot of
fighting,
hero shooters, yeah.
maybe
like in a
fighting
fighting
games
game,
as well,
like,
like using like Ganondorf and Smash.
like using Ganondorf and Smash, or I think King is like a grappler archetype. They're usually pretty bad, and they're really good at killing newer players who don't have reactions or like that thing, and people will become elitist about that and will only use like a character they think is bad because they want to beat people using that, and then whenever they win, they call it a skill diff, and whenever they lose, they just blame it on their character. And I think it's a very large problem, and kind of the reason I've so heavily moved away from playing online video games by myself. I used to play a lot of online games by myself just because it was fun, like meeting people and talking to people online. But there's so much toxicity, and you can't play the way you want to anymore, that I just don't anymore.
No, that's
Yeah.
fair. Like, that's, now thinking about it now, like, this elitism problem is also why I have also started just not really playing online games, because it's just like, why would I involve myself with people that are constantly like dogging down my experience with a game when I can do something on my own?
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like, instead of just like dealing with maybe other people raging, whatnot, and like constantly throwing slurs at you, just have time playing a single player game by yourself or something.
Because like
I will say though, I will dog on people for playing certain games because it's supporting like bad developers and bad game design, i.e. like the modern CODs. Like, people who consistently buy them and play them, I will dog on you for that because you are ruining gaming. You're ruining like
Oh,
the gaming scene.
oh yeah, dude. I swear with COD players, like, there's a lot of them, especially streamers, that go like, "Ah man, there just aren't any good games anymore. Why aren't people releasing good games?" I'm like, motherfucker, you keep buying the same damn game every year. That's why you aren't saying there's any good games. You aren't looking at the actual good games that keep releasing year after year by passionate developers, AAA or indie for that matter. You're just looking at, oh my god, the new COD in 2K is out. I need to go spend $200 on this. Woo!
if you couldn't tell, most people here are, funnily enough, gaming elitists when it comes to choice of game. As,
Oh yeah, no, that's
so
exactly what I
evidently
said earlier.
by Guy and Brewer being like, if you play this game, like I understand where they're coming from, but if your favorite game is COD and you're gonna play COD, I don't care. Play it. I won't because I don't like their practices. But if you want to play it, if you want to spend $70 on a game that is similar with like 2K or Madden for FIFA because you can't honestly think, no one honestly thinks that those games are innovating themselves every single year that they release another game.
Yeah,
If someone does think that, that's genuinely crazy. But it's like, if you want to play those games, go for it. But
yeah,
it is a problem of, or with gaming elitists and like how they view games. It is a bit of a problem of being like snobbish towards other people for playing what they want to play or playing how they want to play. And like I can understand Guy and Brewer's point of, hey, the games that you're playing are hurting the scene, but it's like there's also a point of they're playing what they want to play. If they're not enjoying themselves and playing that game, leave them. Let them waste away their life playing a game they don't enjoy.
well, I'd say part of it is not just like, oh, this is hurting the scene, but also more so like personal vendetta, because like majority of those people that you find that are like, hey, bro, you should play COD with us, you should play FIFA. It's like, oh, I don't want to play those. When you tell them you want to play different games, like, oh, why would you play a single player game like that? This multiplayer shooter is so much better, even though it's the same damn thing that's releasing. Like, I've played a lot of games in my life. Like, I think I've beaten probably over 200 different games. So like, I'd say I have like a high viewpoint on games because I've played so many. Like, to that point, I am an elitist. So like, when I have to deal with other people, especially at work, that are like, "Ah, man, like that game's too hard. I don't see why anyone would ever play it. COD is so much better, and a new Madden that has like a 20 on Metacritic is so amazing." I just like, I'm like, bro, you're only playing those games, and you bought a whole ass console for that. Use that console for you can use that console for so much more. Because I'll never get like spending $300 to $500 on a new console and only playing a certain subset of games instead of like trying out all the fun stuff they have. Like, you have a PS5, why are you just playing Madden, FIFA, 2K, and COD on it when you have a chance to go play like, I don't know, God of War, Bloodborne,
The best game ever made.
I think.
yeah,
I
Gravity
think,
Rush.
like I'm basically like defending them at this point, even though I do agree with what you're saying. But people have very different views on video games, and some people, their video games is a form of, it's not a form of, like, it's not a medium for getting a story. It is just a platform they can be with friends with, or like a party thing where like you can be with other people and play a game together.
Oh no, I
And
can
like,
definitely see that point.
and
I think the point I'm trying to say is like, I can see you
I
can still have fun with it, but like, again, majority of those people that I've ever talked to, they be like, ah, no, those other games suck. Why aren't they like COD and FIFA?
see. I guess that's just a difference of who we talk to. I don't really meet. I haven't really met people like that. But like all I'm saying is that like gaming is a medium. It is a way to experience. It is a way to spend your time, where it can be just to play online with other people, or to play a great story and like immerse yourself in a world, or like test your reflexes, or like learn about like the world or history with like, or like how stories can be told. It's a very cool thing, but for some people it is just a party trick where it's like, hey, you want to play, we play a match of Madden because they like football, but they're not going to go outside and play football 24/7. Instead, they can play it through a video game. It is a very interesting topic because people view video games very differently, and everyone here, I'd say, has a pretty similar view on gaming, where we love getting like immersed in a world and like storytelling. Those are like our main types of games that we enjoy.
Oh, for
But
sure, for sure.
There's
Oh,
a
definitely.
vast majority of people there who play video games to test themselves, to just be with other people, and I think that dogging on them for having that be their thing is not very cool, but like I will say that to Guy and Brewer's credit that they are people who have seen how those types of people can hurt the gaming scene and make the gaming scene become less about making good games and more about maximizing profits.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if they're just playing the game by themselves, and it's like that's all they're doing, they aren't going out and saying like, yeah, I don't. There's no good games coming out right now. Like I think some certain streamers have. Then I don't have a problem with them. It's mostly when they start saying like, oh, the gaming scene sucks right now. There is nothing good coming out, even though the only thing I play is COD and FIFA. That's when I usually start having problems, or when the
Yeah, it's
elitist
like
in me starts welling up.
it's people who like don't try new things. You know what I mean? Like, and like if you think about it in and of itself, that's kind of what elitism is. It's like kind of like a lack to try different things. So it's like I don't know. People always have like their own perspectives on how they want to play games and how they want to spend their time. But I just think it's really interesting how like people people in and of themselves, whether they think so or not, they're always elitist on like one thing or another. I don't know. This episode has gotten pretty philosophical.
Yeah, I mean, we could say in life too, like, oh, I love pizza. What? You don't love pizza? How the fuck do you not like pizza? Like, even simple stuff like that. Because naturally, people always just have a tendency to want to, like, be better, I think, or to, like, be in what would be morally the right. So when you see something that differs from that, I think it's kind of just natural instinct to go, boo.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like we all as a community, we just need to like realize that, people can play what they play, but you just got to do what you can to educate them correctly. I think a big reason as to why people like hate like all the elitism talk and everything is because they do not word themselves correctly and they come off very aggressive. Like going back full circle with Elden Ring. People are like, "You're fucking bad. This. Okay, cool. You may have like those thoughts, but you may want to say it in a way of, "Oh, well, I play without spirit summons because I want to learn the boss's moveset from first hand, and I feel like I have a better idea of what goes on in the boss fight by doing this, and this." You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
Yeah, I think most
wording.
critical, he has a great point on that. Like, whenever he's talking about Elden Ring, a lot of times he'll say, like, he's not using summons, but because that's personally just the way he likes to play the game, and that he likes the challenge from it, which I think is a good way to go about wording that. And not,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't use, where on the vice versa, if you word it as, I like not using spirit summons because I am just a great gamer, unlike these plebeians that dare to use summons. They suck at Elden Ring and they should never play the game because they're not playing it the true way.
Oh, that's actually a great
Yeah.
thing to. How do you go? You know what? We haven't heard from you. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think that's a really good point to make, like what Brewer was saying about like there being a true way to play. Because I truly will never believe that there is one correct way to play a game. Even some of the most linear games can still have like experimentation, and there can still be different ways that a person can play a game. There isn't ever a right way to play. There can be ways of playing that you, an individual, prefer. Like, for example, I've played through once in Elden Ring, and I really enjoyed using a bleed build for like a decent, maybe like close to like half of my, if we're being generous, like half of my playthrough. I
Yeah,
enjoyed having a bleed build because I it was my first Souls game, and so I didn't want to spend 50 hours fighting one boss when using a bleed build made it easier for me. And that's true for almost any game. Like, um, I'm trying to think of good examples. Like, Pokemon, for example, there is no right way to play Pokemon. Like, yeah, you can use the super strong busted Pokemon, or you can use your favorites. Like, there's very different ways to approach games like that. And like even like more linear games, as I said before, like Zelda Skyward Sword or like other games that have been known to be super linear, you can still experiment and try different things in those games, even if, you know, they're not what you would usually like, what people usually like or enjoy. And so I think it's just really important to remember that people are different and they will have, and you know, those differences will impact on how they play games, especially with their different mindsets, their different, you know, the different logic that they use will impact how they go through the game and how they interact with it. And so it just, whatever their way of playing it is their way of playing it. I don't think anyone should ever get super mad about that, unless of course you're Guy and decided to sit on the other side of the stage in Smash Bros and spam projectiles. That's not the right way to play the game.
Look,
That's
all
that's
I'm
the best part
saying,
about. I was going to say
all
that's
I'm
the best part
saying,
about elitism. Whenever
yeah,
you lose to something that's very annoying, say this is the wrong way.
Exactly. I
It's
go on that
human
whole
instinct.
speech. I went on that whole speech, and then tomorrow when me and Guy play Smash Bros, probably he's gonna do something really annoying, and then I'm gonna tell him that he's playing the game wrong.
hey, how can I
Yeah,
be playing it wrong if I'm winning? That's all I'm saying.
yeah. Zoners bring out the worst in us.
I
But
really, I really feel
that
like
was
this.
beautiful color.
Yeah, I think this group needs to play Mario Party because we will see some demons.
Oh, dude, Mario Party brings out the worst in people in elitism because, like, I'll go from like, dang, I don't think I'm really probably gonna win this game to y'all suck massive dick at this game. I got 7 stars in one round because that did
Y'all
happen.
are terrible.
Well,
You didn't buy the fucking dice because you're stupid as hell and you let me win. Yep.
I forgot we were.
I strategized that victory.
I forgot we got like 7 stars in one turn.
And the thing is, at the halfway point too, like I was like in dead last. The game was like, I think the Brewer is going to win, and I was like, then I locked in, and by that I mean I had good luck in Mario Party.
That was one of the most insane comebacks I think I have ever seen in a video game. Like, I, I genuinely can't even be mad at that because, like, yeah, it was kind of luck, but it was so lucky that it was just genuinely super impressive.
Yeah. Well, I think not only did I win, I also won by 7 stars.
It was crazy.
Jesus. Oh God, I can't believe that. But yeah, that's just the nature of video games. The freedom of choice. And because freedom of choice is a thing, people are always going to think one way is better or worse. And that's just how things are. Like elitism is always going to be a thing.
Well, I think just because
But
again, it's in human nature for all of us to do
it
it.
is to try and find like the best of things, yeah. But I don't know. It's just elitism could take a little step back because I do feel like people should enjoy what they can enjoy. Like people should enjoy the same thing by playing their own way. If you are to take away one thing from this video, let yourself enjoy the way things are, and as well as others. And I guess the second thing as well is that we're all fucking elitist and we're all hypocrites. But yeah, just
We're all not elitist until you have to fight a spammy zoner in Smash Bros.
When you
Then
have
we
to
all
fight
turn into
Guy,
elitist.
when you have to fight Guy in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
or
know
when
what
I
you're talking about, man.
yeah that or when I hear someone say Tears of the Kingdom sucks and they would rather play 2K, then the elitist comes out of me.
Oh man, I think it's about time we wrap up the video a little bit. I kind of said my concluding points. What about you guys?
I think I said mine earlier, so I think I'm good.
I think I also said. I think I said everything I think I said everything I've ever wanted to say ever.
Yeah,
All right, then stop talking.
That means Liam's never gonna talk again. Let's go! Yes!
Liam needs communicating sign language now.
Nah, that's still language, bro. He's cooked. He can't communicate whatsoever anymore.
Shit, man can't even do Morse code with his eyes.
Nope. Bro is dead.
No more
Like,
Liam.
I'm just saying, if he's ever going through a drive-through again, he's screwed.
Can you at least
with that
point
being
at the
said-
menu? What's the rules for Liam's new life?
He cannot communicate. Like, literally, that means he cannot point, cannot say anything, nothing.
Workers just gotta guess what he wants. He's gotta pray to God they know he wants a 10-piece combo.
Oh my lord. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video on elitism. If you like this kind of content, please press the like button and smash that subscribe button like how you want to smash all those little dweebs who use the mimic tier bleed builds in Elden Ring. And comment down below what are some experiences you might have had with the elitism problem, or maybe if you're an elitist like us and have very differing views about how you view certain video games and quality. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, like and subscribe. We've been Fetchquest, and this has been our video on video game elitism. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Are you
I can
gonna
stop
end the video,
the
Liam?
Oh, yeah.
This is
my
the part
bad.
where you stop the recording.